Greetings everyone, I'm RSV. What actually happened when the Darkfalls froze over Kvaris? I was curious one day and looked up how an area can become icy in the first place. And well, if a region is cold, it's because there isn't a lot of energy in that region. So colder areas are less energetically active than hot areas. So what did the Darkfalls actually do to Kvaris? Well, it didn't just take away the energy from the Kvaris region. The reason why I say this is because the region is still cold after 100 years. A member of my community pointed out that the freezing over allegedly happened 100 years ago according to an NPC. The reason why I say allegedly is because this character uses the word supposedly. And well, naturally, if suddenly an area on the equator was suddenly frozen, it'd probably take a week at most to defrost. The sun is constantly giving a region its heat energy, so therefore just taking it away from the region once isn't enough to keep it frozen. Which leads me to two theories. The first one is that for whatever reason, because of the structure of the planet, no heat energy can reach Kvaris, and this also applies to the other regions, though that same heat energy can also not leave, keeping those areas in equilibrium. But what doesn't make sense about that is if the heat energy cannot leave from an area, there is a volcano right next to Kvaris. This also would mean that heat energy cannot transfer between the regions, meaning those barriers also stop heat from traveling between them, which is kind of odd to think about, because if that's the case, what's causing the wind in these zones? There are these massive barriers that would stop wind from occurring, yet sandstorms, blizzards, and rain all happen at the same time. So perhaps the wind currents can go through the barriers, but the heat energy that the wind carries apparently cannot. This is the most natural explanation I can come up with when you're actually looking at what's happened to Kvaris. The other alternative is a bit more circumstantial, I feel, and a bit more complicated. We know of at least one other circumstance where this has occurred. Naverius in base game was frozen over by a Darkfalls. Naverius, unlike Kvaris, is also not a shielded planet and has no climate control possibilities, so it is a lot harder to actually define what happened there. But it's pretty straightforward what is occurring in these regions. The energy that's being added to it from other regions, or just from the sun, or from whatever celestial body provides heat planet, is being absorbed by something, or the energy is being reflected by the ice on the surface of the region. But considering the area was frozen over in the first place, it is far more likely that something is continuing to drain the energy from the region, whether that be Darkfalls itself, the minions of Darkfalls, or the ice itself. It is possible that the snow created by the Darkfalls is continuing to absorb heat until this day. But I've been RSV. What do you think is going on with Kvaris? And I will see you next time.